What makes Monza such an attractive circuit? Yep, big accidents, big braking zones, high risk and reward. Surviving turn 1 at the start of a race is always pretty satisfying. And if you're lucky enough to have all 4 wheels still pointing in a straight line afterwards, I want to share with you what I've learned and where most time is lost and gained. I'm going to cover the turns highlighted in red. This is where you'll bleed time if not executed correctly. And why? What do I know? Good question. Glad you asked. I've racked up quite a few hours on ACC and quite a few laps around Monza as well. There's going to be a common theme to this. I set 5 practice laps and you'll basically see what's most effective getting through from the predicted split times. Turn 1, first attempt is actually pretty quick and sets a pretty good benchmark. So with the McLaren I'm always immediately braking after the 150 marker. Anyone can hit a consistent marker each time for braking. It's the next bit that's tricky. Now it sounds simple, but the only rule you've got to follow is to straighten up quick and get on the power early. That's literally it. So perfect example here on lap 3. Those of you eagle-eyed enough will see that I've carried loads more speed into this corner, except on the exit I've clipped the curb slightly, and on the run up to the next set of corners I've literally lost everything I've gained. Right, so here on lap 4 I'm late on the brakes, make a bit of a mess locking up slightly getting into the corner. I'm fairly quick straightening up but not quick enough, and you can see I'm bleeding time again on the run down to the next set of corners. Lap 5, little deep mid corner which compromises straightening up and the line out, and that's what scrubs my speed this time around. So, lap 6, the good one. Tidy entry. Better apex out of the corner, more speed carried. As evident from the time in the top left hand corner, you can see we are nearly 2/10 up by the time we get round to the next chicane. Now I'm not quite sure if this little experiment's going to work or not, so I've got the fast lap in the bottom right hand corner and 3 of the 4 others in the other screens, and hopefully you can see and compare the exit and the carry speed of the one in the bottom right, and just what a difference that makes. Subtle differences make all the difference. My brake marker for turn 3 is the orange thing on the right, and lap 2 I'll set a pretty high benchmark actually, smooth and on the power early, same principle as turn 1. I make a bit of a mess of lap 3 to be honest. Touch the curb on the exit, spinning up the rears, so lost exit speed. There's really a fine line with that. Lap 4, perfect example of getting into the corner too deep, compromising the exit. Good time gained by mid corner but bleeding quick on the exit. Lap 5, this one's pretty perfect, smooth, no curb, on the power really early, and you'll see the time compared to the average one on that lap before, well up on the timings. So a technique I found that really helped was under heavy braking, sort of chop at the wheel, slightly left, just to get it to turn in and rotate. But for this last attempt you can see I went in quite deep and hit a curb on the way out, so that's where it all got scrubbed. Now for tricky turn 5. For me, the hardest corner to consistently take quick. I've seen a lot of people shift down to second and back up to third, but I find it's too near rev limiter, so I'd rather have the stability and keep it in third through the corner. Now I always try and brake just before the 50 marker for a more controlled turn in to get on the power early. Again, my first lap is pretty decent benchmark, zero drama, doesn't look hugely quick, but that's the key sometimes. Now for the second lap I'm greedy on the brakes, bang on the 50 marker, I tried to trail brake it in but didn't want to rotate, and as a result I missed the apex and it looked pretty junk. Lap 4, I brake where I'm meant to, tidy line in, but the exit speed's not that great and it gets scrubbed, and all the way down the hill you see it bleeding off. Now this is how to lose lots of time by braking too early. Exit speed's all good though, and we carry a decent amount of speed down the hill, but I've lost more than a tenth. Now one other thing that makes this corner really tricky is there's a subtle bump just before the turn in which can affect the car's rotation. On my last lap it was pretty quick in but not great out, and you can see compared to the last lap I'm bleeding time as usual. Last but not least, turn 7 or Ascari, where I've witnessed tons of people lose it, get a bit greedy and they retire. My braking point is the slip road on the right just after the orange flash. Hook onto these sausage curbs on the left. Try and get the car as straight as possible at this point, just to get your foot flat on the throttle as early as possible. That's where it's won and lost. So unlike the other corners, I feel that if you're more aggressive at Ascari, you've got more to gain. So even this throws me off line here by being a bit greedy coming in, but look at the time I've made up, over a tenth. For lap 4, it looks pretty decent getting in there, quite tidy, but mid-corner and then the exit, it's just scrappy, and I'm losing time. Look at it disappear. Basically lost everything I've gained. Lap 5, the one I'm most proud of. Great entrance in. I'm on the right side of the track to try and straighten up this thing. Hit that sausage curb nicely, and look at the time melting away. Final lap, on for a good time. Where do I get it wrong? I'll probably turn in a little bit too early. That compromises the exit. I'm now a bit wide. Can't straighten up, have to get off the power. Otherwise I'm going to smash that sausage curb and launch the McLaren into orbit. Look at my time bleeding off. So I really hope that's been useful for any of you still watching. Give it a thumbs up, comment if you did find it useful. And if you win, make sure to execute celebratory donuts.